Matty Ice gets his first playoff win.
Very happy for Matty Ice and the Atlanta Falcons. They almost blew it, though. Almost blew it, man. Up 20-0. Up 27-7. Almost blew it. Seattle, that defense, Russell Wilson, Marshawn Lynch, and then, of course, Zach Miller. Right? That's their tight end? Zach Miller?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, Zach Miller, he was bound to have a great game this week. So, if you guys didn't know, I mean, you're just crazy because he had an amazing game, and you should have known that was coming. They were picking apart Atlanta in the middle, like 15 to 20-yard range. It was Russell Wilson looked really, really good. I thought the cool stat point out was out of the 36 throws that the man made, none were tipped at the line of scrimmage for the 5'11 quarterback. What a game. I mean, it was a blast to watch. Beginning to end.
Rodgers had a couple.
Yeah, that steamroll run, 45-yarder, plowed over Earl Thomas, shugged Red Bryant, the 370-pound manimal, off of him. It was good.
And for jumping out to the lead that they jumped out to, giving it up, and then to have the resilience from Matt Ryan to say there's 30 seconds left, I can still get this done, to go back out there. What happened?
I'm all blurry. Not helping.
Well, you're just a blurry guy.
I'm a blurry guy. What are you going to do? Yeah, anyway, sorry to interrupt what you were saying. Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of just threw me off there with your little camera tapping.
Don't you hate when people throw you off while you're talking? It sucks, don't it?
Yeah, and then you threw the Club Zone logo up over us.
No. I put it on just the one camera to see if it was because we were on two or if it was my camera. It's my camera.
So
Anyway.
you left it up there.
No, we're back to the meet. What are you talking about?
I don't know.
That's what people are seeing right now. Beautiful, ain't it? Look at those grills.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
You're better off, Blair.
Thanks. Face only a mother could love.
Yep.
Pretty much.
Got a face for radio.
Yeah, I do.
Ha ha!
Jerk.
It happens.
So you're trying to say...
I think Matt Ryan did a great job. I think that, and he showed resilience. He came in. He, much like Kaepernick, threw an early pick. And I think that's when I called for his mirror moment on Friday, and I think that's when he had it.
He threw the interception, and the mirror moment came?
And he came to the sideline, and one of his big offensive linemen walked over, and he said, "Hey, Matt, look over here for a second." He held it up for him. Matt Ryan says, "Wait a second. Who's that guy you're showing me right there?" And his offensive lineman, his center, goes, well, that's you. Matt Ryan says, "Wait a second. I'm Matt Ryan? Wait a second. Is this the Georgia Dome? Is this where I play football?
Is this where I play lights out quarterback?
Wait a second. What's my home record again? Hold on. No. My playoff record is what? What? We got stomped how bad last year in the playoffs? No. That ain't going to happen.
The only points we scored were a safety?
No. We're not letting that happen again. I got this. Thank you, sir. I got this. And he went in, and I think he played a great game. Was mistake-free after that for the most part. And when the team needed him the most with 30 seconds to go, after giving up a lead, a 2-touchdown lead, a 13-point lead in the fourth, says 30 seconds, I got this. 2 timeouts? 2?
We've done this before.
2?
As soon as Seattle scored, first thing I thought of was what they did to Carolina early in the regular season in Atlanta when they went down by 2 and they had the ball on like their own like 5, and he hit Roddy White for like a 45, 50-yard bomb to midfield. 2 plays later, they're in field goal range. They kick the field goal and win it as time expired. Now, I want to say that was an amazing game-winning drive by Matt Ryan. You hit Harry Douglas for 29 yards. Next play, Tony G for 19. On both plays, Seattle blitzes and is pressuring him. Now, not in his face pressuring him, but enough like pocket starting to collapse pressuring him. Still makes 2 great throws. I will say the only thing I didn't like about that drive was I think Mike Smith and Atlanta as a team completely mismanaged that final set of seconds. Seattle they're not stopping the clock. You have a timeout in your back pocket. There's 13 seconds left. Let the clock go down. Call your timeout so that your kick is the last play of the game. It's either a win or a loss.
This was all blundered not by Matt Ryan, though.
Mike Smith was the one that called the timeout. He sprinted down the field after the Tony G catch. Like, dude, deep breath. Because all I said to myself was, I actually got up and went out to the living room and looked at my dad. I'm like, I'm telling you right now, Dad, they could really end up regretting all this celebrating already. 13 seconds left. You kick the field goal. You're kicking off with 8 seconds. Leon Washington has returned kickoffs for touchdowns before, is a threat. So they decide, most teams, what do? You're like, oh, we'll squib kick it. That wasn't a squib kick. You said it to me yesterday. What were they doing?
No, that was, 1, not a squib kick. And 2, even if it was a squib kick, get the squib kick out of your playbook. Just kick it away. Boot it through the end zone. I'd rather give him the ball at the 20.
I'd rather kicked it out of bounds and gave it to him at the 40. It still would have saved them 12 yards of field position. That's how bad that kick was.
It was terrible.
It's like, I'm sitting there and I looked at I'm like, I'm telling you.
And then what was even worse than that, and I don't know who to blame for this, to blame Russell Wilson or to blame Pete Carroll, but what an awful, awful, awful play call.
What a terrible use of 6 seconds of the clock.
The worst.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know what we're talking about right now.
He ran a 3-yard, out pattern.
So he could get out of bounds and gain 3 more yards and completely just waste 6 seconds out of the 8 you had remaining. Oh,
and
I'm completely
had a
with
timeout.
you. Yeah, completely with you.
They had a timeout because I remember sitting there saying to you, why wouldn't they take a shot down the middle of the field, or why wouldn't he turn it upfield? Because you saw when he caught the ball, he just turned sideways and ran for the sideline.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm completely with you.
Terrible management.
Mismanagement.
But who do you blame? Do you blame Russell Wilson for throwing that horrible out route? Or do you blame Pete Carroll for the play call?
To me, it's a pretty much a 50-50 split. I don't know if Russell Wilson has the power to audible out of that. I think he does. So he deserves blame. But at the same time, Carroll, or the offensive coordinator, deserves blame for saying, let's just gain 4 or 5 yards so that we can make the Hail Mary a little easier. And that's another question at the end of the game that gets brought up.
Well, at the end of the game,
should they
it was
kick
a
the field goal, or should they have gone for the Hail Mary?
Well, that's what my father had said to me is, he goes, oh, they're going to try a 65-yarder. You got to at least try it. You got to give it a try. You got to give it a try. Now, I realized that the kicker they had wasn't Hushka, and that it was
or
Ryan.
Janikowski.
It was Longwell, right?
Yeah.
I think. And Longwell, his career long is only 55 yards, so it's 10 yards longer than his career long.
And that would have been an NFL record. A 65-yard field.
He's in a dome, so there's no win factor. It's just get up there and kick the doggy out of the ball. Kick the crap out of it.
And that could work, and being in a dome could work for you or against you in that situation. Because if the wind was behind you, then a 65-yarder seemed a little more confident.
Now, do you think you're better off throwing a Hail Mary or do you think you're better off attempting a 65-yarder?
To be honest with you, I think the percentage of success for each one's probably like 1%.
If you're the head coach, what are you going for?
Based on what Seattle's season has been, I'm going with the Hail Mary. Based on some of the things you've seen that team able to do this year, I'm going with the Hail Mary. I'm chucking it up there. I got Sidney Rice at 6'4". I got, I'm just throwing it up there. I really am. And I understand the concept of kicking the field goal, but either which way, your percentage is a success. Like, I'm not mad if you kick the field goal. Like, if I'm a diehard Seattle Seahawks fan and I'm vested in them like I am with the Cowboys, and like I emotionally care about what happens, I'm not mad at my coach either way. Whether he kicks the field goal or he throws the Hail Mary. If I'm angry with my coach and I'm angry with my team, I'm angry because of the play before with the stupid out route. I'm completely with you on that one. That play made no sense at all. It was one of the worst mismanagements I've ever seen, except for the kickoff by Atlanta and Mike Smith calling timeout with 13 seconds left instead. Like, that final 13 seconds of that game just made absolutely no sense to me and was terrible mismanagement of the clock. Everything else leading up to that game, though, or leading up to those moments, was amazing. Atlanta came out and punched him in the throat, right in the mouth in the first half. Right in the mouth. And the best part about it was, anybody that's watched Seattle play this year sat there and said, this game isn't over. Like, it wasn't. If you watched any Seattle games throughout the year, you said to yourself watching that game, you're like, it's still not over. And I said it to myself. I was home doing laundry. I'm like, this game, it's not over. I just can't see this over. And then Seattle gets the ball to start the second half, drives right down the field, scores a touchdown. Boom, we're 20-7. Like, see? How's Atlanta going to respond? Drive down the field, touchdown, 27-7. I'm like, okay, maybe Atlanta's really for real about this one. And then Seattle drives down, scores again. Next possession, Matt Ryan makes one of the stupidest throws I've ever seen him make and forces it into double coverage. It gets intercepted. Seattle scores again. Now we're at 27-21. Like, oh, crap, here we go. What a game. That's why I put on our fan page, win or lose, no matter what happens in this game, thank you to Atlanta and Seattle for giving us a great game. An amazing performance by both teams.